How we doing, Schmoozers? Welcome back to the podcast dedicated to helping proud Jews promote their own personal brands. I'm David Cobby, and I have a very, very exciting episode in store for all of you listeners. As a reminder, make sure you are leaving a rating and a comment on whatever platform you're listening on. If you haven't done so already, make sure to follow at Schmoozing Time on Instagram and TikTok to stay up to date with new podcast releases. Speaking of TikTok, ever wonder what it's like to be TikTok famous as a college student? Ever wonder what it's like to deal with anti-Semitism online and still be able to promote yourself as a proud Jew? Well, if you ever pondered any of these questions, my guest today may have some really good answers for you. Please welcome to my podcast, TikTok star Harley Stein. Harley, how are we doing today?
I am fantastic. I'm so happy to be on here.
I cannot thank you enough for taking the opportunity to be on this podcast. So I'm really, really excited to get to talk to you today.
Oh, I'm excited to talk to you. This is my first podcast ever, so it's very exciting.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Harley, here's how we do things around here. So first order of business, I like to do a thing called your Jewish geography profile. So I'm going to give you 4 to 5 rapid fire questions. You're gonna give me an answer. Maybe we'll schmooze a little bit for a couple of them. But you ready? You ready for this?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Okay. All right. First off, Harley, where are you from?
I'm from Long Island, New York, Plainview.
Okay. I think everybody can tell it in her accent.
The accent is so thick. I get told that all the time.
Yup. No, and listen, it's good. It's I have a lot of friends from Long Island. Like the Long Island accent it's awesome. I personally like it. Some other people don't really fuck with it. So, Harley, where do you go to college and what is your major?
Well, we'll get into that a little bit, but I used to go to West Virginia in person, and now
Okay.
I'm actually online back in Long Island, and my major is multidisciplinary media studies. And
Ooh.
I love it.
That sounds like a very interesting major. And again, we'll get into all these topics a little bit later. Harley, as a child, did you do any youth groups? You go to sleepaway camp?
Yeah.
Any of that stuff?
I was definitely one. I was a camp hopper. I started at Crestwood. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I'm not.
Okay, so that's like a day camp. When I went there when I was like really little. Then I switched to Eisner. It's a sleepaway camp. It's a Jewish sleepaway camp upstate. Then I went to the sister camp, Crane Lake, and then I went to Driftwood Travel, and then I went to Timberlake West.
Jeez,
You may have heard of that one. And
I've heard of Timberlake West. Yes.
And then I went to Apollo Travel.
Okay. So you must have a crazy extensive Jewish network. I mean, if you're going to, what was that? I think those 5 or 6 sleepaway camps that you just named. Like that's awesome. I feel like everybody sticks with the same camp, and they're like, no matter if they like it or not, like they just kind of stick with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hopped around.
That is perfectly fine. All right. I know these questions are not super rapid fire now because we're sticking on the topic, but anyway. Last rapid fire question for you.
All right.
Who is your favorite Israeli artist or singer?
Okay, this is like so basic, but it's Omer Adam. Like you can't not like him.
Okay.
He's everybody's top. Or Nora
is who? What does she sing?
Noah. She sings Unicorn.
Oh, Noah Kiriel, I think is her last name.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. What's your favorite Omer Adam song?
Beg. It is the best song ever. It's new, I think.
Oh, it's like one of his newer songs.
Yeah, I've been listening it back to back for half an hour on my way to work.
That is awesome. I mean, Omer Adam, he is, like you said, like he's the pretty mainstream option. I love his music. It's fun to put those on when you're with your friends and you're listening to like an Israeli singer or artist or whatever. Like you have to have Omer Adam on your playlist. Like it's a must. It's a must.
Favorite song?
By Omer Adam. Oh, geez, you're putting me on the spot here. I'd have to go through my playlist to really know. Easy cop out answer is Tel Aviv. Another one I like that I think is a little underrated. It's called Chatzi Dafuk. It's one of his older songs. It's got like a really I can't even describe the vibe, but it's more like a club-ish music. Like when you go to Tel Aviv, like they put it on at the club. So that's kind of like my go-to Omer Adam song. But I'm really open to any Omer Adam stuff.
Me too. Honestly, if I hear it, I know it. I can't read Hebrew, but if I heard
Okay,
the song, I'm like,
there you
yes.
go. There So going back to the topic of music. So you have experienced being a bar and bar mitzvah DJ, which is the coolest freaking job in the world. I mean, like you get to go to parties. Yeah, I mean, again, like you're with 13 and 12-year-olds, but still, like being a bar mitzvah DJ, like that's the fucking shit. Like that's what you want. Okay, so tell us about that. Tell us about that experience. Like, how long did you do that for? Like, you still doing that? Like, what was that like?
So I was a DJ before being a DJ was cool. Everyone nowadays is like, I want to learn how to DJ. I want to do this. Like, no, I did it first, and everyone made fun of me.
That's
But
great.
I stopped. My dad, when he was younger, was a DJ, and my aunt was a DJ, and now they're work in a law office. My dad's a lawyer. So I I was one of those kids at 13, 14 who were like, why can't I go to the club? Why can't I have fun? So I thought it was a fantastic idea to just crash everyone else's party and be the DJ.
That's great. That
It
is
was
that's
awesome.
phenomenal.
Yeah, once I got into that, I love doing the bar and bat mitzvahs. I did a chili cook-off once. I did an
Ooh.
engagement party, but I really wanted to do club events. So I
Okay.
created this thing called Neon Night,
Hmm.
and all these people were ready to come. I had performers coming. It was supposed to be like a concert in Farmingdale, Long Island.
Okay.
And the day of the event, I found out that the event place scammed me. So I had to shut down my event.
What? Wait. How'd they scam you? They were just like, oh, we're not hosting the event. Like we're not bringing in these artists. What happened?
So basically, the guy that we signed the contract with got fired, and we weren't on the list. And also, they didn't even have a license to throw parties, and they were throwing it before that. And it was such a nice place. It was a new
Mm.
place, all re-renovated, awesome equipment, but they got caught not using a license, and the guy scammed me. So I had to shut
Wow.
it all down, and I had to face the music. I had to go to school the next day.
Oh, that is horrible. And wait, how old were you at this point? Like when you were doing these DJs and for
14.
bar mitzvahs? 14 years old.
I was 14, yeah.
Wait, so you were basically an entrepreneur starting at 14 years old, going to all these events, doing the DJ stuff like that. That's awesome. Like
Yeah,
how come you stopped doing that? Was it college? Was it you just got bored of it? Or was the scamming kind of like the final, fork in the road? You're like, I'm done with this.
well, the scamming was definitely a big part of it, a
Okay.
huge part of it. And then
Okay.
COVID hit, so
Ah,
and then I kind of gave up on it. So I haven't done it in a while, but I feel like if I get back into it now, everyone's be like, "Oh, now you're a DJ again. Now that it's popular."
yes,
So
yes, yes.
I've thought about it. So
Okay, okay. What was like your go-to bar and bar mitzvah game? Was it Coke and Pepsi? Was it? I mean, I'm trying to remember all the games I played, but honestly, I tell people this. Sorry to go on a tangent, but
you're good.
I partied more as a 13-year-old, right, going to bar and bar mitzvahs every single weekend than I do now in college. I'm not kidding. Like I'm a senior in college. Like I'm washed. Like I can't really party anymore. Like whatever. No, I'm serious. And like I miss those days of like playing Coke and Pepsi, running around like a madman with my,
Shirley
with all this amazing food. Oh my God. Oh my God. Shirley Temples are, oh my
Temple.
God. Those like are just like every time I go to a bar and get one or have one, it's just like automatically I think of a bar or bar mitzvah, like every time.
Exactly. I miss them so much. I went to my brother's 2 years ago. I had the best time of my life. I've never
It
been
is,
to a better party.
uh, it is, bar and bar mitzvahs are really, really fun. All right. So let's get into some what I like to call actual questions, because that was just the quick, classic 10-minute schmooze before we get into the real stuff. So, Harley, let's talk about your personal brand a little bit. You're obviously a prominent person on TikTok and have over 167,000 followers. So I guess my question to you is, what is the first thing that you want your followers to know about you? I mean, you have a very Long Island persona. Like, I'm getting that vibe off from you, but what is like when I open your TikTok page, what is the first thing you want a viewer to know about
What I want them to know about me and my content are kinda different because
you?
I
Okay.
feel like I do a lot of lifestyle, I do a lot of dances, I do a lot of
Uh,
this. I I never really had an avenue when I first started TikTok, but now that
mhm,
I'm getting into activism with Israel, I feel like, a lot of my followers will stick with me even if they don't agree.
mhm.
So I feel like I want them to know that I won't hate them if they don't agree with me on anything.
Right.
It is a community that I wanna build,
Right.
less than
Right.
a less than them just watching me and I'm talking at them.
Right. And do you think that kind of going back to this disagreement,
Mhm.
was this always since you started doing your Israel activism now? I don't know if you did a little bit before, but was there always a sense of you having to deal with people disagreeing with you, or is this kind of like a new thing since October 7th and people and since October 7th, and it's become a very big thing on social media. It doesn't even have to be like, Israel related. Like,
Yeah.
has there been a lot of times where like followers have just like what I like to use the term chirped, which essentially means like, bad mouthed you or talk shit about you like in the comments. So what's that like? You're very prominent on TikTok. Like, you have a lot of followers. So I would imagine you get some hateful comments, Jewish related
I
or not.
get a lot of hate, like, a lot of, hate comments, but n before October 7th, none of them were about Israel, they're more about what I look like. Like,
Okay.
they're like, "Oh, look, it's the AirPod dancing again."
Jeez. That is, people have no remorse. I mean, what you can say behind a screen these days is just like
I love it.
it's unbelievable. Wait, you said you love it?
I think it's hilarious.
Hold on. So you like getting insulted by your followers? Am I following this?
I feel like if I respond to it, it will
Okay.
bring more traction. Like, the other
Hmm.
day, someone commented, "Oh, nice cans." I brought up 2 cans of olives, I'm like, "Oh my god, these are my favorite, I love them."
Oh man, so you just like messing with your followers essentially, the
I
ones that just try and mess with you.
Yeah, exactly, like, I I've gotten some serious hate since I started posting pro-Israel content,
Right.
but, like, it is disgusting. I
Right.
I feel like it's I went to a school, I went to West Virginia where I was before any of the October 7th happened, I got a lot of anti-Semitism to my face. So, I feel like it's a lot easier to deal with it over social media because realistically, they're just projecting their
Right,
anger.
right. No, it is. I mean, and we'll talk a little bit about social media later, but it is very difficult now with everything that's going on, and I think to bring some relevant news into this, during the Super Bowl when they aired the stand up to Jewish hate ad, nothing to do with Israel, by the way, didn't even mention Israel, And I think I think in in previous stand up to Jewish hate ads, they're basically their message is like all hate is bad, right? Like if you're gonna be Islamophobic, if you're gonna be, racist, if you're gonna be a big like all hate is bad. And what this campaign is trying to do, and it's very smart, is say, yeah, all hate is bad, but we just want to we want to make you aware that Jewish hate is on the rise. That's all. We're trying to, what Robert Kraft is doing is he wants to make everybody try and hop on the bandwagon of the campaign. His messaging is great. However, I don't know how much you've seen this on TikTok, but the let's call them the so-called social justice activists, they turn this into, oh, the Israelis, the Zionists, as they like to call us, as an insult. I'm like, whenever somebody calls me a Zionist, I'm like, oh, thank you. Like I am a Zionist.
Yeah, exactly.
They try and turn the messaging around and say, oh my God, look what the Zionists are doing during the Super Bowl. They're posting this ad while they're bombing Gaza. Like it's just ridiculous how much. I talk about, their me not wanting innocent Palestinians to die in previous episodes, and that's totally not the message of Zionism. But I just don't understand how these people go from a commercial about standing up to Jewish hate and all kinds of hate to, oh my God, look what the Zionists are doing during the Super Bowl, and they're ignoring what's happening to Palestinians. Like it's ridiculous.
I honestly, I don't know what they're thinking. Half of them
I don't
don't do their research. Half of them
know. Right,
have the wrong research, but they're willing to fight you on anything,
right,
which
right,
sucks. But I feel like the whole purpose of the ad was to tell everyone to leave us alone.
right. No,
Please.
I've been seeing a lot of people say that on TikTok, and I agree, like I agree with that kind of logic. Like, yes, please leave the Jewish people alone. Like we've gone through enough tragedies already, okay? But like at the same time, I don't want that to be our message
Yeah.
to people that aren't Jewish, because it's like I want to be friends with people that are Christians and Muslims, and so again, it's this weird. It's a very this whole anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism thing is such a weird complex of issues that are all intertwined, and it's such a mumble jumble that like it just causes the
People are just mad about it.
yes people get it's terrible, but
You're gonna get an apple instead of an orange, and they'll yell at you.
yes, exactly. And I mean, there have been so many times where I've been in having a respectful conversation with somebody about something related to Israel, and they go off on a tangent about something completely unrelated to Israel. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't answer your question anymore. Like, I cannot deal with people. I do not have the patience for people that are irrational in this issue, for sure.
Exactly. Honestly, they're extremists on both sides, and
100%. 100%.
I feel that people that are so extreme, fighting with them is there's no purpose. There's
Right.
no purpose.
Right.
Just save your
E-
energy.
Exactly. Exactly. So by the tone of our conversation, obviously you're a proud Jew. I brought you on here because you're a proud Jew. But
Yeah.
going back to this personal brand thing, what do you do actively on social media, not on social media, to show people that you are indeed a proud Jew? What's like your go-to kind of thing? It could be, again, that's a very, very vague, open-ended question. It could be wearing a necklace, doing Shabbat dinner. What do you do to show your Jewish pride?
Well, I actually grew up in a household where my dad's a rabbi. So
Oh, there you go. There you go.
my dad's the rabbi and lawyer. So I have been a Jew since I came out of the womb, and I have been honestly, I've been going to rallies since I was little. I've been going to temple since I was little. My bat mitzvah, but I trained for 3 years in advance. I wear all my Jewish jewelry. I'm I try my best to spread awareness in every way possible,
Mhm.
especially, like, when I went to school. Even the people that were very nice and very open to learning, it was nice to teach them about different holidays, different this, different that. It's very nice to educate people.
So you'd say like Jewish education to people that aren't necessarily as religious observant as you, or not even Jewish, like you'd say like that's a big part of your Jewish identity.
Yeah, I love teaching people about Passover. My family, we have this thing. We have a song sheet. We
Okay.
have different songs that we sing. We sing, "Take Me Out to the Seder" instead of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Yeah. We
That's
also sing "No Seder Like Our Seder." So I
okay.
invite my friends to this, and they're like, "Oh my
Oh my god.
goodness."
Had any of your friends been scared off? I know kind of on the topic of Pesach, but have any of your friends ever been scared off by like matzah or like any Passover related food? Like if I am a non-Jew sitting at a Passover table and people are screaming Dayenu and getting really drunk and eating cardboard, like I would be I'd be like, what the hell is going on? Like has that ever happened to you?
No. I wish it has. I feel like it would be really funny to watch.
Yeah, yeah. I just feel like that would be a very good, and I'm sure somebody out there on TikTok has done this, but I feel like that would be a very good like comedy bit of like a non-Jew showing up to Pesach with no idea what's going on, and then eating cardboard bread and drinking and singing and doing all this crazy stuff, and then like I feel like that would just make them inherently anti-Semitic. Like, don't you think so?
Honestly. Honestly.
Like,
You gotta be born into it to love it.
you have to love Judaism. Forget about the whole religious aspect of your conservative reform, whatever. Like, that doesn't matter. If you are a Jew, like, you have we're 0.2% of the world, right? You have a very special opportunity to do things that nobody else gets to do. And if you're not using that to your advantage, I'm sorry, like you're kind of wasting your life. Like I hate to break it to you, but there's so many cool things that Jews get to do. And like I just don't understand like some people that have all the resources in the world to, go on birthright, have Shabbat dinner every night.
I know.
Yes. Like there's so many things that you can do as a Jew, culturally, religiously, but some people just don't use it to their advantage.
Yeah. It's honestly sad, but I do get it because it wasn't, like, cool. Like, it depends what town you live in and where you're from, but everyone in my town, there was a whole bunch of us Jews. I live next to 3 temples.
Wow,
I live
that's a lot.
It's a lot of temples, and my temple is all the way 30 minutes away, so
Going back to anti-Semitism, I know we joked a little bit about this earlier, but and you kind of touched on anti-Semitism. So I guess my question to you is, what do you actively do?
yes.
Again, doesn't have to be on TikTok or on social media. What do you actively do to combat anti-Semitism? And I know that's a very tough thing to do. So I guess to the listeners out there that are struggling with dealing with anti-Semitism, what advice do you have to them?
Honestly, I r I'm working with a company right now, and we're finding a way to reach the market of people that are Jewish and wanna stand up for Israel and being Jewish, but they're worried about the backlash. So we're gonna be
Mm,
futurely be working with that, but honestly, I really recommend talking to
awesome.
your family. Like, I have gotten so much anti-Semitism before in person, and I feel like the only way that it helped me was realistically talking to my family. Some person came up
Mm.
to me once and goes, Where are your horns?" I was at a tailgate. A tailgate.
Wait a minute. Wait. Like, I thought that was you know the movie Borat.
Of
Have you seen
course,
the
I
movie
love
Borat? Okay. 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 I thought that like that was just a Borat like little shtick,
Mm.
but somebody legitimately came up to you and said, "Where are your horns?"
Yeah, they said a lot more than that. They said, "Do you live on the moon? Do you control the weather? And, oh, look, it's the Jewish rich girl from Long Island."
So you answered yes to controlling the weather, right?
Of course, I make it
Okay,
snow
good,
every
good, good,
day.
good, good. We have to make sure that we have to play into some of the anti-Semitic stereotypes. Like, come on, guys. Wait, so how did you deal? Seriously, how did you deal with that situation? I mean, you're being put on the spot with this anti-Semitic guy like coming up to you. Like, how'd you deal with that?
I told him my horns were my
Jeez. Oh my God.
I go, "Can't you see them? They're poking out right at you."
People are such idiots. Like,
But real I was shocked. I was obliterated, but I was
okay.
shocked.
Okay. I can't imagine, like you said you're from Long Island, like growing up in New York, like
Yeah.
you've been surrounded by Jews your entire life, and this guy just comes up to you and is like, "Hey, where are your horns?"
Yeah.
Like, crazy.
I never expected. I didn't really look into it because I just assumed everywhere is like Long Island. So,
Ah,
yeah, so
okay,
I went
okay.
to school and I showed up and there were only 25 Jews.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is. And how big was you said West Virginia?
It's like, 40,000 students.
Oh my
It's a
goodness.
big
So,
party school. I can tell you it's a lot of fun. Just show
okay,
up with
West Virginia's fun, but not a lot of Jews.
not a lot of Jews, not a lot of
Okay,
people
okay.
that ever
So
met a Jew.
for for those of you looking at colleges, this is Harley's advice.
Yeah,
Like,
please don't go
take take
Jewish.
take it to heart. So, on the topic of anti-Semitism, I guess that was an example of somebody being ignorant to anti-Semitism.
Mhm.
What what do you think is the biggest driver of anti-Semitism nowadays? Do you think it's pure hatred of Jewish people? Like, I don't know, like people that look up to Adolf Hitler and those people? Or do you think it's out of pure ignorance? Like, which would you say? And I guess like it's a little bit of a mix between the two now, but what do you say today in 2024 is like the main driver of anti-Semitism?
That's a really hard question. Honestly, it's definitely a mix, but it really
Okay.
depends on the person. Like,
Right.
you know how those people that will slide up on your Instagram story that has nothing to do with Israel, nothing to do with being Jewish, they'll be like, "Fuck you," like,
Right.
"Die," all this stuff,
Right.
but,
Right.
like, I really don't know what the anger is stemming from.
Right.
I think it might just be ignorance, but
I
definitely a mix.
I I definitely unfortunately I have to agree with you. I think the scary thing is that a lot of the anti-Semitism that, I mean, this is again how I perceive it, but a lot of the anti-Semitism that we college students are experiencing right now is driven from very educated people. And I know you mentioned you're at home now, but I can, New York City, I see these pro-Palestine protesters going up to, I don't know, like a Jewish grocery store or Jewish restaurant and saying like, "You have blood on your hands, like you committed this genocide." Like, and to be honest, like I'm not somebody that likes to hate people. Like I can't really hate a person because I think everybody has some good in them. And so I can't imagine, right, that these pro-Palestine protesters actually like hate Jews. Like it just like they probably do, but it just doesn't like register with me. Because like my entire life I've been taught, and I think Jewish principles have been taught to like, love thy neighbor as oneself. Like
Mhm.
you should be treating everybody with the same respect that you want. And for them to be going up to a Jewish restaurant and saying all these things that have nothing to do with what's actually going on in Israel it's terrifying. I mean, like it's just like disgusting. And I want to believe that it's like ignorance, but part of me is starting to think that this is like pure hatred of Jewish people, you know?
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
It,
it's so upsetting because I feel like
it
there's
is.
no such thing as respect before anymore.
Right.
Sorry, there's no such
Right.
thing as respect anymore. And when October 7th first started, like when it first happened, October 8th, I hid my jewelry. I hid everything. I was worried that someone was going to ask me when I go to the city to go see my boyfriend, "Are you Jewish?" I was terrified, and
Wow.
it it just insane that I have to worry.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in a place like New York City. Like there's so many Jews there. Like you shouldn't have to worry.
I know. It's crazy.
Is that's ridiculous. So on this topic, what do you, I guess, do to kind of strengthen the relationship between your friends that aren't necessarily Jewish? You know, they could be Muslim, Christian, and have differing views than you. I know, obviously, being very prominent on TikTok, like I'm sure you have a lot of relationships with people that don't agree with you, anything Israel related, maybe not even the religion of Judaism itself. But I feel like there's always some sort of common ground
Yes.
that you can find with somebody. So I guess, Harley, what are you doing to maintain your relationship with people that don't necessarily understand the issue, don't necessarily understand Judaism, and that are being summoned to all this Jewish hate on social media? What are you doing to, like, I guess, try and convince them to be your friend still?
Well, I have a lot of Muslim friends. I've had them for the last 5 to 7 years. I've had a lot of Christian friends, and we never spoke about conflict before October 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And once October 7th happened and the war started, it we really try not to talk about it because I wanna show
Right.
them respect, and I know they wanna show me respect, and if we've been friends for this long, I know that either way, if Israel does not win or if, the Palestinians don't win, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
have my back. We just want
Right.
each other to be happy. They'll ask
Right.
me, my boyfriend is from Israel, but he goes to Colombia.
Okay.
They will ask me all the time, "How is he doing? How is his family with the war?" Like, it's just they're very nice people, and you have to make sure you have
Right.
a sort of communication beforehand saying, "Hey, listen, I care about you so much. I really want our friendship to continue, and I just feel like it's best for us to not talk about the conflict together." Because I've seen people it happened to my cousin. This girl stopped being her friend because of her opinion, and they were friends for 10 years. 10 years. I don't understand how someone's opinion you can just not talk about it.
And I think it's probably very hard to not do that with your Muslim friends and Christian friends. Just, I mean, especially because, like, the Jewish people are so passionate about Israel, right? And there are many people that are very passionate about Palestine, which is fine. Like, I also want the Palestinian people to have a life they deserve. It's I think, to your point, like, I think it's so smart that you just completely avoid the issue entirely because you're not going to get any headway, right? This this because this issue is so complex and it's emotionally charged too. Like, you're not going to make any headway with somebody that disagrees with you at this point. Like, everybody who has, stake in the game, yeah, they've already formed their facts, right? And there are a large majority of Americans that don't understand the issue, and they're kind of searching for facts. And I feel like those are kind of like the people that you can actually sit down and have a conversation with. But I think completely avoiding the issue, like as crazy as it sounds, like I feel like that's a phenomenal idea. And I'm sure your relationships with your Muslim and Christian friends.
They're so strong. I love them. I'm just happy they're happy. I told them one day we'll have peace. We'll go to Israel. We'll go to Israel, whatever its name. We can name it Donut. The country will be named Donut. We'll go to there together and we'll party.
Man, I would, you know what? I would absolutely love that if one day we get to party alongside Palestinians in, it doesn't even have to be in Tel Aviv. You could go to Jerusalem in the Shuk and have a big party. Like
Exactly.
I think like end goal, like that would be absolutely phenomenal to have. But I think we got a long way to go, unfortunately.
We
And
do have a long way,
it's
but
a
one day it will happen.
I mean, I really hope that one day, like God willing, it's gonna happen. Hopefully in our lifetimes or in our, children's, grandchildren's lifetimes, like God willing, it will happen one day.
As Justin Bieber said, never say never.
Never say exactly. Never say never. All right, so Harley, let's talk about best topic for last. TikTok, right?
Yeah.
You're a star on TikTok. So one thing I want to bring out related to this topic of partying and Israel is your videos with Ori Cohen. And for those of you who don't know Ori, he is one of the funniest guys on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. He makes fun of every single kind of Jew. It is amazing. Like he likes to poke fun at he likes to poke fun of birthright, he likes to poke fun of Japs. Like it's just very satirical and I love him. And he's great. Followed him for a while now. I think since COVID. So can you talk about your relationship with Ori, how that started, like how you know him? Because I mean, I can imagine he's the
Yes.
same guy off camera that he is like on camera. Am I correct about that?
You're more than correct. He's wilder off camera. He stalked me on TikTok. He liked all my videos, started commenting on them. The ones with my mom, oh my God, I love you guys. And then I just DM'd him. I go like, we have to be best friends. And then we started talking, chatting. We would FaceTime all the time. And while I was at West Virginia, he honestly was an outlet of someone I could talk to because I really wanted to get the fuck out of there. And and he gave me such of a welcoming feeling. And once I got to Israel and I met him, I knew that he was going to be one of my closest friends forever. He's so caring. He's nice. He really thinks about everybody. He remembers everybody's name when he goes out. He does these pub crawls. He is amazing, but he's also hilarious. He will make fun of me all day.
Oh, I would imagine like you're his like typical like Long Island girl bit. Like I could totally imagine him like poking fun at you all day.
Oh, it doesn't stop. But he's awesome. He will give you connections. He will show you these people to meet. He knows all the friendliest people ever. If you ever meet, come to Israel. I'm going there this summer. I'm doing Onward. I'm gonna be there. He's gonna be there. I know it's during the war, but you get a plaque if you go.
Okay. Okay. That is so I actually did Onward my sophomore year, going to my sophomore year in college. So that was going to my junior year of college. So that was 2 years ago. That by the way, you're gonna have phenomenal summer in Israel. Like that is like
I
the
don't know. I'm not going with anybody I know.
awesome. Perfect. Like that is like when you go to Israel, for everybody listening to this, when you go to Israel, I love my friends. Don't get me wrong. Like I've gone, I think every single Israel trip except for like maybe one, I've gone with very close friends or family members. When you go alone and you go to people you don't know, like you're gonna make the strongest connections. There's something about being in Israel with people you don't know that are Jewish, that their mom's cousin's, friend, whatever. Like there's something about the Jewish geography and being in Israel. And then on top of that, like you're gonna be, I would imagine you're gonna be in Tel Aviv, like you're gonna be, oh my God, you're gonna have so much fun. You still see like the IDF soldiers like partying after like they're about to get sent off to war. They're like still partying and like that's
They want 12 shots of Iraq.
oh my God. Oh my God. Arak, don't even get me started with Arak. I love Arak.
I love it.
Good. Because
Yeah, I go to my boyfriend's apartment. He has like 6 or 7 bottles. I'm like, what the
yeah,
hell?
as a good Israeli will do. Like that's I feel like that's 6 or 7 is like little under average, I would say. Like I would say Israeli households probably have 10 full bottles of Arak at any given point.
I'm sure. The best part is that I am going to know people in the area. I have some friends. I have Uri. Uri will always be there for me. If I tell him I'm on top of Masada and I'm really drunk, I need you to come climb the mountain, pick me up, and drive me home, I'm sure he would say yes. It would make great content.
Speaking of content, so you're gonna be in Israel this summer. Are you gonna do any sort of Israel vlog on TikTok? Like I don't want to spoil anything to your viewers, so give me whatever information you can. But talk about if you're gonna do anything Israel related TikTok while you're there.
I am 100% gonna do so much Israel content
Let's
because
go.
honestly, we need to see it.
I know.
It like you said you didn't know if it was back to normal. I want to show people that like even though we're in a war,
Mm.
nothing can break us down. We will still dance. We will still go out to Shalvalta. We
Yep.
will still hang out with our friends. We will go
Yep.
to dinner,
Yep.
and we cannot stay inside and mope.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Like that is a great mission to have. Kind of going to Israel. I mean, how many times have you been there before, by the way?
I went there when I was 9, but I don't remember any of it because I kept looking at cats. So I went on birthday last summer. So and then this is gonna be my 3rd time.
Okay, so you've been there 3 times and one time before with the party scene and everything. So this is gonna be a totally new experience for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I went with my cousins last time and my sister and one of my friends, and I feel like it will be very different now that I'm going alone. And I know my boyfriend's gonna be like 20
Right.
minutes away, but like still it's considered alone.
Great. No, like it is honestly in Israel, you're never alone. Like
Oh
there's
yeah.
always like something going on in the streets. Like it is you're gonna have a phenomenal time in Israel. Like
Did
for
you
sure.
feel like when you first landed there and you met your first person in Israel, your first Israeli, wasn't your
Okay.
reaction so welcoming?
Oh, yeah. What? Of course. I listen to this.
Yes.
She's now interviewing me. Like this is great,
I'm
guys.
sorry.
No. This is awesome. This is awesome. I remember so a lot of my family is from so my grandmother or my dad's side, my grandmother, and I mentioned this on the podcast before. My grandmother is from Lebanon, moved to the United States with my grandfather during 67 after 67 war, before or after, I can't remember when. But so all of her family members are live in Israel. Like nobody, I think, except for a couple of them. So literally all my great aunts and uncles, and I don't even know if they're great aunts and uncles, but distant family members, right? I go to
Mhm.
Israel, and literally the first time like I walk into their house, like they have a full on like Thanksgiving feast for me waiting,
Oh
and
God.
I'm like, oh my God, like
We're
you're
gonna say this now.
like it's just like amazing. Like Israelis just have some sort of like charm in them where it's like they're so welcoming. And I know this is my family, but still, like I literally have never met them, and they're just like going all out for me. They're like, "Oh, David, welcome to my house. Like this is great to have you." Like it's just like Israelis are so welcoming, and they're the best. But yes, we get
Once you meet them, you're family.
it 100%. Yes.
I met my first Israeli. I was in the worst mood of my life. I ignored him.
Okay.
And then he kept following me. And I'm like, oh, hello, nice to meet. And then he brought me out of my bad mood. I was like, oh my God, you guys are so nice.
Yes, yes. Israelis will get you in a good mood
Pretty
very,
sure.
very quickly because, I think this is because their entire life is so stressful, right? Like when you have rockets going over your head 24/7 and you have to stress about Hamas and Hezbollah and all these terrible problems and terrorist groups, like you're stressed all the time. But when you're not
Mhm.
stressed, right? I think they really, I think there should be a psychologist like that looks into this because this is amazing. When they're not stressed, they take advantage of like every moment of life they have because it's so valuable, and I can really see that in my family members, in my friends that live in Israel. Like I can really see that in them. Like they really appreciate life. Like here in America, it's like, oh, we're like so mopey all the time. No, like Americans don't appreciate shit. We really, listen, we have it very good in America.
Jappy.
Yeah, job, job, exactly. But there, it's just like, it's a whole different ball game with how they look at life and appreciate it. Like, I don't know. Have you noticed that too?
I 100% understand it. I I see the way their eyes light up when they're at their happiest, and they're always at their happiest.
Right,
But what I find
right.
interesting is that no one's afraid of rockets. Like like
Hmm.
it's just normal. I'll ask people, I go,
Yeah.
what is it like living day to day when people are shooting things at your head and you don't know in the next 10 seconds if it's gonna hit you? And it's a norm to them.
It's,
It's like traffic.
it's, yeah. They're so at this point they're so desensitized to it that it's I mean and I don't want to speak for all Israelis there's definitely a lot of people that are not as desensitized to it, but I agree with what you're saying. Like it is so it's become like normal now where like you'll have rockets going over your head in Israel, but people in America are complaining that they didn't get the new Mercedes. Like that's the difference between Israelis and Americans is that Israelis complain about stuff that's like actually like rational, I feel like. Maybe not all the time. But Americans, it's like, oh, if we're not living a perfect lifestyle, then we can complain. Like I feel like it's just become like it's an outlet to complain.
Americans wanna show off. We all wanna
Yeah.
show like, "Oh, yeah, look at my new car." I
Yes. Yes.
like, I personally don't care. Yes, I like nice things, but it's not my
Right.
whole life.
Right.
But
Right.
some people, we're all jappy. All Americans are jappy. And yes,
Oh,
America, but no, we're very jappy.
yes. All Americans are jappy. I really like that. So, final question for you before we wrap up. So, you obviously have some experience in media, studying media, and you
Yes.
got this great platform on TikTok, right? So, final question to you is how are you going to continue leveraging your platform on social media and turning that to even get more viewers, maybe doing some sponsorship deals? Like what's kind of like your next move going forward with your social media presence?
See, what I have been recently doing, I just started with the uh promoting Israel.
Mhm.
I see that it clicks with some of my followers, but
Okay.
it doesn't click with others. Like sometimes it'll get a lot of views, sometimes it will
Right.
get less views.
Right.
So I feel like I have to one look into my demographic times. Everyone should look into their demographic times. If you scroll to the bottom, it will show you when your page is most going to be viewed. You look
Hmm.
at that, you post then. Hashtag it up.
Hmm.
You gotta push everything to the limit, and if you don't, it probably will not do well. And if it does, I'm wrong. So it works
Yeah.
for me sometimes when I'm lazy. But I feel
Right.
like you really gotta strategically look into it. You gotta look at the numbers. You gotta see what you're doing, and you gotta if you want to curve your social media platform, you have to target different audiences at the same time.
Right.
And when it comes to, promotions and other things, I have so many ideas for businesses that aren't mine.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I work at a PR, firm. I'm doing an
Okay.
internship right now. I
Okay.
just gave advice to a carnival, and I feel like I've never heard anyone give my advice before. I could tell you what it is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, are you like in the consulting world now? Like, what's this? This is awesome. Like, if you have business ideas, share it.
Okay, okay. So I have this idea for businesses that, like, they it's either, like, not like a service. I don't know if you could consider this a service. It could
Okay.
be anything, honestly. So this guy
Right.
runs a carnival, and he is getting no views on Instagram, no views on TikTok. Then they're just promoting with flyers and videos and links to their website. I have the fan. This is my idea. Hire a 16-year-old girl or guy that loves acting and have them recreate every single one of the trends. So I was like, how about the 16-year-old girl? There's this new trend going on right now. Like, I'm the boyfriend. Of course I'm gonna go uh buy her flowers or something. So I was like, this girl be like, I work at a carnival. Of course I'm gonna feed the elephants on my lunch hour. Like what people will be like, wow, this girl works at a zoo and she's 16 years old. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like, but the thing is that it's acting. Now that TikTok and Instagram, they're all becoming the new way of entertainment. I feel like it could entertain and it could market without marketing
Wow.
anything.
Wow. That's great idea, guys. Nobody copy that, by the way. Like that's
I can't even tell if that's good. Is that good?
I listen, I'm a marketing major, so I'm a nerd for everything marketing. And I think to your point, like it's so content is becoming the new thing. Like if you don't have content, and I think, listen, Harley, if you decide to go down that path of helping businesses with their marketing and content strategy, like because people have old systems of marketing that simply just don't work. And we're going to be like our generation, we're going to be an age of consumers that pretty much only get their content exclusively from social media. So if there's a business out there that like needs help, like hit up Harley. Like seriously, like she's got all the ideas.
I will be your 16-year-old girl that works at the carnival.
There you go. There you go. There you go. All right,
Good.
Harley, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Where can people find you on TikTok and Instagram?
So my Instagram is at Harley with two Y's, Stein, Stein. And then my TikTok is Sorry Grandma 2.0. 1.0 completed. I got banned at 80K with my first account. I was mad.
You got banned at 80K?
Yeah, I
What?
was so mad.
Oh my God. Again, make sure to go follow Harley, two Y's, Harley Stein on Instagram. Sorry Grandma 2.0, because the first one got banned on TikTok. Again, make sure everybody leaves a comment, subscribe, give us a rating. Like we want to hear your feedback. Until next time, keep schmoozing.